Everybody in Vern, I'm going to try to use my new fancy PowerPoint technology, which may mess up, but we'll see if it works. It does. So, my name is Vern. I've been on all 3 Nicaragua mission trips. I went back, I think it was 2004, I led the next team, and I went this year, 2007. And I'm supposed to stall for time. That's what PowerPoint. There we go. Okay, so today, well, right now, I'm supposed to be talking about how mission trips have changed my life, but the biggest impact they've had was they changed the way I view it, reasons why I go on mission trips. And when I first went, it was weird because I didn't really want to go. I wasn't really passionate about it to begin with. My idea of mission trip was like, wow, check out the danger there's going to be like we're going to Nicaragua, there's going to be like a plane, there's going to be a bus maybe tipping over a cliff, and some giant snakes, and rebels shooting us and stuff like that. That was my idea of mission trips, because I had never known about it until I came to Cornerstone. And even further than that, like maybe some of you also think the same, but I thought it was like basically like an Indiana Jones adventure. Like running out of Bibles, because we heard about Paul Johnson, like natives shooting arrows at you and stuff like that. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I gotta sign up for this stuff. But basically, mission trips, I found like the core of it. The reason I go is you have to put everything into God's hands. So what I found was for me, I don't ask myself why I should go. I have to focus on why I shouldn't, because immediately I come up with more reasons why I shouldn't go. Like, reasons why I should go, yeah, it's to be serving God and things like that, but a lot of reasons come up, and I find out that these reasons, they're not really coming from me. I mean, are these reasons really something that God would say, yeah, that's a valid reason why you shouldn't go? So today I'm going to be covering some of those. Okay, so the number one reason I'm going to be talking about is physical conditions. A lot of people question, do you have the strength? Do you have the conditioning, the capacity for physical labor? Or are you young enough or old enough? So all these things come into play, but they're not really valid reasons, because none of these are required to actually be on a mission trip. We heard from last week, Dan's father, he's in his 70s, and he was a key member of that mission trip. We heard from Zach, who's been on more mission trips than anybody I know right now, and he's not even 18. So if you don't have the strength, if you're worried about the physical conditioning, it doesn't matter. There's always painting to do, there's always serving in the eyeglass clinic. I mean, you can take that away from me. I can't even do that, so I fall asleep in my eyeglass clinic. If you want to do that, totally fine. So the key to this is also remembering that when you go on a mission trip, you're part of a team. You're part of God's team. God assembled that team. God calls you, and you go. And that team is perfect. It's not going to be lacking. So when we have our team, the only real valid excuse for not going is getting pregnant. And 2 people last year, they got pregnant. We're totally fine. You don't have to go. So if you get pregnant, you're fine. So guys, you have no excuse. So the next one is, the main reason a lot of people come up with is the money. I understand money is a big issue because it's roughly $2,500 flat. That's if you get no funding, no support at all. And there's a week off of work, so there's their opportunity costs and things like that. But this is, again, is like a test of faith. You got to put that into God's hands. You got to trust that God's going to be able to provide that for you. So in that case, there's a saying from Rebecca Woo's church. Her church says, you're either a goer or you're a sender. You can't be kind of middle of the line if you're going to call yourself a Christian. So you can also be a sender, and that's how you can participate in missions. There's lots of ways of being a sender, and one of those is to help with fundraising efforts. So we're going to be doing fundraising efforts all year round. We're starting right now. We had the Ultimate Tournament last week, which is really successful. So you can participate into those, or you can like spread the word and get other people involved in helping out. And that's a great way to support the mission trip if you can't go. For me, I wanted to go to the Mexico mission trip in 2004. I couldn't, so what I did was, I was assigned to work a lot of overtime that week. So what I did was I would dedicate hours of overtime to the mission trip. I would say, when I work these hours, I'm not working for myself, I'm working for God. And it totally changes your outlook on how you work. So if you are in a job where you get paid overtime, just dedicate a few hours to the mission trip and say, I can't go, but I'm going to serve God by working here, by supporting people who can. And it's an awesome way to do it, and it gives you a total new outlook on your job. Okay, so another thing I usually have to fight with is like having no special gifts. So really, like the only gift you need is the willingness to go. You don't have to say, well, I'm really good with children, I'm really good at like construction. You just have to be willing to go. And the key to this is thinking, well, when Jesus picked the disciples, they had no special gifts either. Okay, he picked like a tax collector, people that weren't very liked. He picked fishermen. I mean, they had no skill at all in like dealing with people or preaching and things like that. He picked regular people. And what happens is we don't pick, but regular people come and they find that they have special gifts or they have special things that happen to them on the trip. So it's not for us to decide what special gifts we can offer, it's us to discover what we can do there. And so one way to find out what you have is when you put it to use when you're on a mission trip. So try to think of this, the mission trip is kind of like a buffet. Okay? So there's just so much that can be done. It's like a huge variety. So you saw something, we did rock core, we delivered food, we did construction, went to the prison, we did eyeglass clinic, on and on and on. Even beyond that, there's just opportunities that pop up. The rock core you visit wasn't even on our original plan. Ian came up with it. He said, this is a good chance for us to do outreach, and now it's a permanent part of our mission trip. So there's just tons to do. Don't leave it up to you to decide. Just leave it up to you to be willing to try everything and to discover what is there. Okay? So all you need is the willingness to try what's presented to you. The last point I want to talk about is self-doubt. And this is a huge one. And you have to think, if the devil was trying to wreck our mission trip, what would he do? He would put self-doubt in everybody's mind. And what was unique was we had a meeting last week with the Mexico mission trip, and we found out that every person on their trip and every person on our trip actually gets kind of an attack of self-doubt or attack of some kind of way that you have to overcome through faith or prayer. And so that was pretty interesting. But you have to remember again that you were part of a team that's put together by God. And everybody in that team has purpose. And everybody that helps you go on a mission also has purpose. So on my first mission trip, I was project manager back then. I was managing a $250,000 project that was going on site. And it's a crucial time of the project. And I was initially going to say, well, I can't go. There's no way to let me do that. What I did was I took the burden off of me, and I just wrote my boss a letter. And I said, I'm going to let it be in God's hands. So if he says no, I did everything I could. But what happened was he said yes, let me go during a crucial time of the project. I was really surprised, and I saw that as a sign that I should go. So you gotta just put it in God's hands and let God kind of help you decide for you, and let God work the miracles for you. Give him the chance to show you a miracle. Okay, and I just want to finish with something from Luke 12:48. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been trusted with much, much more will be asked. And I think this is special for Cornerstone because I believe a lot of us, we have the ability to go, we have the ability to send, so we have a lot, and we have to live up to that expectation. Because when God asks us, why did you go, why didn't you support the mission, we better have a really good answer because we have the resources and we can do what needs to be done in Nicaragua. So, not just Nicaragua, there's 3 trips. So if you're interested in Nicaragua, you can go talk to John for this year. If you're interested in Mexico, you go talk to Dan. And there's the pre-mission trip coming up again in August. You can go talk to Paul about that. So any way you want to get involved, again, just participate in fundraisers, talk to one of us if you need more information, and we're just willing to have anybody come along and answer their questions.